Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. So, we got splitters, finally, and we are on a mad dash towards the pYwan science. I was just thinking, what we did is we closed up the stone chests, so that way we can not spend all of our remaining stone on that. But then the other problem is when stone stops getting mined, this Keratin is going to stop flowing. And so we need a belt of raw coal coming in, or something coming in, to fuel the burner drills and stuff. So unfortunately, I don't have any belts right here with fuel on them. I think I had one and I deleted it, right? Or no, what's this belt? This belt right here. This is sus. Yeah. This, no, nope, just kidding. That's a stone belt. Or an ash belt. What is that? Oh, that's just another belt of processed iron. That's all that is. Okay, well, we've got to have a belt of coal somewhere over there, right? No? I just completely started relying on the Keratin, I guess. So what all is the Keratin getting used for, actually? It's getting used for smelting aluminum and copper and stone brick. That's not a terribly large amount of smelting. So I think what we can do, it's a little problematic because if I were to, because we need to bring whatever we have all the way down here to the aluminum. Because I was thinking we could just take this belt and split it. I do need some more splitters, actually. Oh, look, we have a lot of circuits. Oh, this feels so good. Look at how many splitters we have. It's wonderful. Okay, so what I'd like to do, first of all, is ditch this crap and use a splitter. And then I guess I can use a splitter here. Yeah. Okay. And then that's a belt that's just fueling all sorts of random things. We'll have that come this way. And then we should be able to splitter it with the Keratin closer to the sauce. And by that I mean source. Yeah, so I'm thinking over here. We will split it input style. Heck, we can even have it right there. Input priority right. So it uses Keratin first, but then it will use whatever's on this belt if it has no Keratin. Now, the only problem here is that belt sides could get a little wonky. But we do have Keratin kind of alternating onto belt sides, so that should be okay. Okay, so then this just needs to get connected down here. Alright, that should do it for making sure Keratin depletion will not ruin me. Now, Keratin depletion is not going to happen for a while. But I don't want to take any chances. So we shall not take any chances. Alright, sweet. So let's see. What's next? Iron usage, we can't really slow down, so that's just gonna happen. I mean, I could limit some things. What is iron mostly getting used for these days? I guess I could reverse these chests at some point if we need a few thousand more iron. But yeah, I think we're basically just using the iron we need to produce things, so that's fine. I guess we're using iron for circuits, but I limited the circuits too, so we should be okay on everything for now. Okay, so we decided Vraux, beelining it for Vraux is the name of the game. So we're gonna need probably another Vraux paddock. I already have one apparently. We need all these things, which means I need duralumin, and we did make a smelter, didn't we? Am I making that up? No, here it is. We made a smelter. These are big AF, and they use fluid fuel, not power. So we'll need this guy, and we'll probably hand feed it for now, because it needs copper and aluminum, which is something we don't have readily available everywhere at this point. Why don't I just put it right... Yeah, let's just put it right here for now. And then we'll bring down the gasoline. Oh, you know what else I should do? Now that I just thought of it, is make a few pie tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like these ones better, just because I think they look cool. They're the same size as the vanilla ones. The main difference, I mean, it's like 27,000 instead of 25,000. But the main difference is they connect on the middle instead of the corners, which I think is generally nicer. They also take forever to deconstruct, apparently. All right, let's clean up the hotbar a bit. We don't need this random moondrop thing. We don't need these things. Don't need those. I do want top-ups and overflows on the hotbar, and then we also are going to want probably a tank on the hotbar, maybe next to the valves. Maybe the pump should go next to the valves like that. All right, anyway, I'm gonna go throw one of these on each of the outputs before they get sunk. So aromatics, syngas, and gasoline. Let's see. That connects that way. This one will connect up and left. That. There we go. And then gasoline. Both up there. Okay, so now there's some storage for each of those fluids. I guess we need to do tar or creosote as well. Okay, and that'll save us a lot of hassle. Now that things can buffer. Buffer. Sweet. All right, moving on. Smelter. He who smelter delter. All right, this goes up here. One of these guys. Bada bing, bada boom. Duralumin's the only thing we can make. Hand feed it some stuff. Boom! First duralumin produced. Feels good. All right. Is it more copper or more aluminum? It's more aluminum. All right. So I need a lot more aluminum for that. And then we'll grab a little bit more copper because I just ditched mine. Oop, we're also out of iron. I want to be careful with my iron, but I mean, we still have 160,000 ore, which is at least 20,000 plates. So we still know it's better than that now. It's 5-to-1 now. So that's what, 32,000 plates? That's not terrible. We're out of zinc for an unknown reason. Because we automated that. So I need to look into my zinc stoppage. But I was going to do something else first, which was grab aluminum, which is here. All right. So, why is zinc stopped? Zinc is stopped because we're out of fuel. And we're out of fuel because... What did I do? Oh. We apparently were using that line for fuel. What did... I remember something about this, but I don't remember exactly what I said and what I did. But it was clearly the wrong thing. Because I remember us saying we weren't using this third line. Because it was going to the old... well, it actually was going to nothing. This one was going to the tar production and coal gas production. And then I removed that. But then, what did I do? I remember cutting it off and being like, we're not using that anyway. But then apparently I connected it up to zinc. And then forgot that I did that? Maybe? I'm not really sure what occurred there, but that should fix that problem. We could have also used this coke, I guess. It's a pretty small amount that we'll need. And that should work for both? Yeah. Okay. It's all being splittered properly. So there we go. So that will get us zinc flowing again and tin flowing again. Tin was also stopped up. And now duralumin's going, so let's go grab some duralumin. It's here, 42 of it. And that allows me to make some fancy new stuff, maybe? I need more titanium. And I need... Wait, why does that say 12 out of 20 duralumin? Oh, maybe it costs some to make... Yeah, it costs some to make the other ones. That's interesting that it subtracts 30. One of the ingredients in this must cost 30 duralumin. Is that the pie tanks? Do those cost 15? Where are the pie tanks again? Here. These ones. Yes, they do cost 15. Got it. Okay, so let me go grab more titanium. Actually use the car for once. Hopefully there we go, 500. That's a good amount. All right. Now we're talking. Yeah, we're talking. So then, also, how's fuel doing? I guess I should have brought more. But it seems to be doing okay. So yeah, we need to craft basically one of each of these 4 things, plus a reproductive complex, plus a slaughterhouse. So that's 140 titanium, 170, 210, 250, 265 titanium needed. It's not crazy. Plus, we're gonna need some medium amount for making like bio containers, and I think that's it. Do the codexes? No, Vrac codices don't require anything. Okay, so let's start looking at the numbers on this. 1 Vrac codex. That must be a turd recipe. Makes 1 Vrac. How many Vrauks do I need? Do I need 3 to start? Because I need 2 for the reproductive complex. And then... And then I can make eggs, or cocoons, with those 2 in the reproductive complex. And then I should be able to move those 2 over to a Vrauk paddock. And then I can run this recipe. The problem is it'll take 5 ever. So I would speed things up a bit if I made like 4 Vrauks. But is that reasonable? I guess that depends on how expensive these things are. And the moss gene samples, we should start making these now. I can make petri dishes already. That's just a bunch of moss. More petri dishes, more flora. That's all easy. And these are actually pretty easy-ish. So 10 biosamples per Earth DNA sample. So if I want 4 Vrauks, I need 80 biosamples. Yeah, that's doable. Okay. Unfortunately, seem to be lacking something. Titanium. Oh, these are 2 apiece. That's kind of a lot of titanium. Well, we'll get there eventually. Titanium mining is currently my holdup. So what do I need to make first then to get this process started? We're making the biosamples. The moss gene samples are made in a gene lab, so I guess we should get a gene lab soon. We really want to work on these because these... No, these don't craft that slow. I thought these took like 300 seconds a piece. They don't. So those aren't that hard to craft. All right, we'll get there eventually. Let's work on some petri dishes. So this thing should be filled up. Perfect. And then what did we need? Seaweed, which I have yet to find a home for. So I might move it. Basically anywhere that I can make steam, because we already have water if we're making steam, and then seaweed is also just water. So this is pretty easy to transplant. Basically anywhere. Oh, you know what else I can do? I could make a few more of our little friends here. If we want. And we'll move this over here. All right, so we've got a lot of seaweed just chilling for when we need it. What else are we doing? Petri dishes, agar, seaweed. So much to do. I like the Vrauk chain though. I think it's a fun. Really, in general, I think all the animal chains in Pi are pretty cool. We're gonna need a lot of space for our Vrauk chain. I'm thinking over here maybe. Base is already feeling too spread out. I don't know. Maybe I just put it next to circuits, but then it runs the risk of running into iron. It takes a lot of space. Takes a lot of space. Maybe I put it horizontally here. Yeah, that seems fine. I'll take 50 more circuits. That should be enough for now. And then, yeah, you can see how big these stupid things are. All right, so we'll start with 2 Vrauk paddocks. I'll actually leave a little bit more room to the left because we'll do the reproductive complex stuff on the front end. And then we're gonna need water over here. We're gonna need flora. Oh, flora spoilage is gonna be a thing. We do have flora right there, which is nice. Maybe I'll just use that. Yeah, I'll probably just start mining flora from here. But yeah, the flora spoilage is kind of a nightmare because we're gonna need it on the belts feeding these Vrauk things, and the belts are gonna be really long, right? Because we're gonna have to have flora on these, but it decays every 3 hours, and that means we're gonna be deleting like 1,000 flora every 3 hours. I guess that's not that often, but it definitely will add up over, you know, the long haul. Yes, Zyner is. I definitely am planning on doing some sort of control. I was just kind of talking out like if we just did it the normal way. The other thing is there is the flora spolinin recycling recipe. where with, I mean, that's a lot of steam though. Until we have a better way to make steam, I don't think that's a great plan. Because you get 75% of it back by doing this. The one biomass can make a tiny amount of steam. But yeah, 30 steam is actually quite a bit. Granted, for the amount that we'll be spoiling, it might not be that much. I don't know. We'll figure it out. For now, I wanted to paste... or I guess I didn't copy... did I copy it? Or did I deconstruction planner it? I don't think I copied my seaweed build. That was a mistake. I just wanted to make the agar. Let's do that over here. Because we have water right there. Oh, but I need fuel too. Where do we have fuel? I guess up here might work because we have coke. Or even the raw coal right here. There we go. And there's water nearby. Okay, so this is a decent place for agar making. Agar the horrible. Can't you time the piece of belt in front of the flora miner so you don't mine a full belt? You could do that as well, so it mines very kind of slowly. The other thing, the other problem about counting out the flora is that you end up having a big lag time, right? If you were like, oh, I only like mine flora until there's 50 flora on the belt. Well, it'll mine 50 flora, and then it'll take forever to work its way all the way to the Vraux. So yeah, what we might end up doing is something more like that, where we end up, what am I trying to say? Where we basically have it so that it only mines one flora for every few belt segments. And what that does is that reduces the rate. And so then we can reduce the rate and count the flora on the belt. So then it only feeds flora kind of at the rate that the Vraux want it, rather than more than that, so it won't fill up the belt fully dense. And then on top of that, we can stop if there's too many, which means once it starts backing up, and aka we don't need more Vraux, then we'll stop mining it. And between those two things, that will reduce spoilage by like a ton. The only problem then is that it takes a minute to start back up. There's a lag time when we need Vraux again. There won't be flora accessible until the belt snakes its way all the way there. So there'll be like, you know, a lag time of 1 minute or whatever, which isn't the biggest problem. You kind of have to have a lag time. Like, there's no way to remove lag time unless you want flora to always be accessible. And if you want flora to always be accessible, then that means more flora is going to spoil. So you can't have your flora and eat it. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta you gotta decide which, are you gonna have it, you know, quick access, or are you gonna, you know, have it so that it's not spoiling constantly? And you can't have both. Super Force build is beautiful. Okay, there's seaweed, and then steam. Oh wait, I need to go this way. Okay, and what did we need again? A high pressure furnace to make the agar. The agar is the thing that spoils, and then we dump that into, what was it? An assembler, actually? Yeah. Okay. And then we'll throw the petri dishes in here. We'll throw fuel into there. And then we need a boiler. The birdie boiler. To make steam. We need the water plugged into that. And then we need to feed that fuel. Ditch the ash. And then power. And baby, you got a stew going. Sweet. All right, well, that will make us as many things as we can handle. There is going to be bio-crud happening if I don't deal with it. So I guess we should deal with it. We'll get a bio-crud getter-ridder-over. There. And there. That should handle all the places bio-crud shows up. Technically, this one might take bio-crud out, but I don't care if that does. Alright, and I have way too much seaweed. I don't know. I didn't even really need to set up seaweed here. I guess I could have just fed the seaweed we already had. We are trying to rush Vraux, right? I guess I'm not acting very rushed, am I? Alright, but that should be enough petri dishes, I think. How many? Do biosamples need petri dishes? No, right? No, just the moss gene samples. 2 each. And we needed how many? We need 3 per Vraux, so 12, 24 petri dishes. Oh, 3. So that's 16 petri dishes per Vraux. So if I want 4 Vraux, that is like 60-ish. All right. And then 4 Vraux codexes. Can be handcrafted. Let's go get our titanium on. And then hopefully we have enough duralumin. It would be cool if Vraux, baby Vraux spoiled into Vraux. Yeah, there are some interesting things you could do with that. I mean, I think it's hard because, you know, that represents the time aspect, but it doesn't represent the, like, feeding them aspect. Where did I leave the car? See, this is the problem with cars. Is there a mod? I think there is. Isn't there a mod that whenever you get out of a car, it just automatically picks it up? You don't leave it places? Where did I drive it? Oh, I left it at the titanium. There are just too many species. Yeah, Glam, there are a lot. And that, I mean, that's true of metals and ore as well. Like, they're all varied a little bit, but there are just like 50 different ore processing chains. I mean, that is kind of pYanodon's, right? It is a bit grindy in that sense. Like, there are just so many things to do. That is part of the rub. All right, well, we almost have 40 in those, so let's grab a few more here. There, oh, still a couple 39s. Come on. There we go. All right, we'll wait around for those to finish. You can add a pin to the car. I don't know if that works if you keep picking it up and placing it. I also don't like pins because they take up valuable screen real estate. So, I'm not a fan of the pin system that they added for Space Age. You can't collapse it, you can't categorize, you can't move it. It's very fixed to be one thing, and I don't really totally love it, and there's no customizability. It certainly was useful for like being able to click over to a space platform. I just wish I could have moved it somewhere else. I would have preferred it in the top left, or I just would have preferred a very short, or maybe even a button in the corner here, or a button up here where you can click it and it will expand all your pins, and then you can click it and it will minimize all your pins. It just was frustrating that it took up the same screen real estate as the tooltips. And yes, I realize that the official solution for that is you're supposed to have tooltips at the mouse cursor, but I don't like that either because modded tooltips take up half the screen. Heck, even Space Age tooltips take up half the screen. So I don't know. I'm not sold on that being the best solution for that. I don't know if I agree with Covarex on that one. I think he's the one who's really a fan of the mouse cursor at tooltip. I also think there's a level of inconvenience of every time you want to see a tooltip having to press a button. It's a very different like gameplay pattern than just always being able to see tooltips. And obviously, like, you create a muscle memory for one, but pretty much most of the time when I'm mousing over something, I do want to see a tooltip. and I don't want to have to constantly be pressing a modifier key. All right, we have 129 titanium plates. That is not very many. Yeah, Chiran Z, that is the other solution, is you don't require a modifier key, but then the problem with that is that the tooltips are always showing up, and sometimes you don't want a giant tooltip covering half your screen just when you're moving, because then you're just moving your mouse around the screen, and then you have tooltips popping up everywhere that are really big, and I don't really like that solution either. So really, in my mind, tooltips on the side actually are the best solution. But then that really messes with how they did pins. I also think it's weird because aren't tooltips on the side of the screen the Factorio default? I don't actually know anymore. What's default? Like if you buy the game and install it and just start playing, aren't tooltips on the side of the screen? Am I wrong about that, or are they over the mouse? Okay, what can we actually make now? Oh, I need plastic too. Let's get that going. Plastic is really easy. Plastic is just aromatics and syngas in a biofactory, which means I need a biofactory, which means I need more duralumin. So let's grab our, oh, we are, wow. Are you kidding me? Look at this. We got the ratio within 6 more aluminum plates, and we would have had exactsies in terms of copper to aluminum ratio. I just kind of put some in there randomly, and I managed to somehow get it almost exactly what, wow, that's crazy. Anyway, that's probably not enough duralumin, so let's go get some more aluminum. I ran right past it. It's right here. 12 stacks of that. Let me get some more copper. All right. Now we can make a biofactory. And in that biofactory, we need to be near aromatics and syngas, which are going to be up here. We don't have both piped, so I'll just access from up here for now. Let's see, how do we want to do this? Let's do this, flip, go down, and then I can just do something like this and this. Boom. And then power's up here. Plastic. Bada bing, bada boom. It's actually, in some ways, easier in Pi than it is in Vanilla Factorio. Pretty expensive per plastic bar, but it's not... You know, by the time you've done tar processing, you already have both of these things available. So... I guess there's a world where syngas isn't available because you did something else with the coal gas or something. Like, there's a world where you didn't do this step of processing, and then you don't have syngas, but I don't really think that's super likely. Okay, so anyway, there's plastic, and now that should allow us to make bada bing, bada boom, a gene lab. And in the gene lab, we can start making the moss gene samples. And then bio samples are made in an incubator. I need more glass for that, apparently. Hey, Maria, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. All right, incubator, thank you very much. All right, gene lab. Where am I gonna put all this stuff? It kind of doesn't matter for right now because I'm hand feeding it, so I guess I'll just put it kind of accessible. Maybe I'll put it all in the same general. I don't want to put it over there. But maybe I should. Just to have it all in the same spot. Put this here. That still seems to be working. It's just the steam is really slow. Moss gene samples. We have a bunch of moss right over here. I don't know how much we need. They're 20 a piece, and I need 12 of them, so that's 240 moss. That's plenty. Alright. And then we need to grab the petri dishes. And it's 2 each, and I need 12, so I only needed 24. I'll just do it this way. Okay, so there's exactly enough for that. And then the incubator, we're gonna throw a bunch of flora in here with our bio containers. So there's 50. So I'll need 30 more bio containers. We said we needed 80. So there's 50. And I need a crap ton of flora. 80 times 15 is 1,200? Am I calculating that right? Yeah, 1,200 flora, and it only stacks to 50. So that's 24 stacks of flora. That's no joke. Which I don't have. I've been smart enough to not put it all in a chest, because then it spoils. So this is kind of a weird situation. 24 stacks. So yeah, basically a full chest. So I'll just let that fill up. I don't think we have to worry about the spoilage time, because it is 3 hours and 20 minutes. So we should be fine for now. Designer is, last time you played Pi, you didn't have syngas until you were making plastic. Interesting. Yeah, syngas is so much of a priority for me in Pi. Alright, the car. Yeah, I would love a mod that basically makes it so a car is more like a mount. You know, in games where you have like a hotkey to just hop in your mount, and then you have a hotkey to hop off, and then it just would get put back in your inventory. You know, I find having to place it and then pick it up is pretty tedious. And if you leave it somewhere, oh god, I always forget it somewhere. And we'll go until we're down to 40. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, like in The Witcher, and then you summon your mount, and you look around, and why is Roach standing on top of a house? It doesn't make sense, but... Alright, yeah, the titanium is actually slower than I thought it would be. I maybe need more of these. I also need to go get more fuel. Let's go do that. We will grab as much coke as we can carry. And we have chestfuls of coke over by the old coal gas production site. Which is somewhere over here. How many of the route rendering products spoil? Don't ask that question. I don't want to know the answer. I don't want to know. Please, no. It's caged frog. Where's just the normal caged frog? 4 hours, 8 hours, 16 hours. Pretty much all of them. Chitin is the only one that doesn't, because it's, you know, just an exoskeleton dried out. I do have storage in the car if I wanted to use it. I didn't really feel the need for that much coke over here. Let's see. Nah, don't quite have enough. Need more small parts. You have gigantic mod idea backlog. Yeah, that is a problem of most mod makers, it sounds like. You guys all have too many ideas. Right, that gets me a whopping one. Is this a mining time 200% situation? It sure is. I didn't really see that before. No wonder it's so slow. 200% mining time. All right, come on, give me more titanium. We're up to 85. I guess we've spent quite a bit already. So what do I need next in the process? What would be smart? We need the data array. Okay. Because once I have the data array, I can start making the Earth DNA samples from the biosample. So I guess I also need 30 more bio containers. But I'll wait on that. Yeah, I want the data array first. We also need 50 duralumin for that. Slow process, that titanium. Oh, there's trees here. What do you know? You know what I don't like? The trees here. Let's get rid of them. Perfect. Alright, so what are we doing? I don't really know. Ah! Brakes on this thing. We've got... should have all that we need here. There we go. 12 moss gene samples done. These need a crap ton of flora, which we are working on. What's the mining rate on flora? Do I need more than one of these? It's 1 per second. I needed 1200. 1200 seconds is only 20 minutes, so that's fine. It's not really a fear. Why is stone still running full speed? I am a bit concerned about that. So I want that to feed at an angle. Maybe we need 2 of these. Okay, so stone mining. Why is that not backed up? I would have imagined this would be backed up by now. I guess it could be the moss. I guess these are just still backing up. I could make that a little bit better by putting... it's kind of a pain in the butt. Oh, do these back up to the full 1000? Oh my gosh, they do. Okay, let's pivot. This is gonna say if stone brick greater than 3, or no, sorry, less than or equal to 3, it will run. And you're reading. Okay, so basically if we're backed up to here on stone brick, this is gonna stop feeding the furnaces. Because those all filling up to 1000 is a lot more stone than we have available right now. Although it is 2 per plate or brick, rather than things like plates, which are 10 or 8 each. So it is a little better, but still not great. All right, duralumin, we probably have enough by now. Let's go grab that. I hope. 94. That might be enough. Because this needs 50. This needs 30 and a gene lab. So that's really another 50. So that's 100. And then we need the reproductive complex, which doesn't require any. The slaughterhouse, which doesn't require any. So I think that's actually it. Do we need another biofactory? Forget what all the biofactory makes. I don't know if we do. Let me go grab some more plastic. What all do you make? You only make plastic right now. Okay. there we go. And then I will grab, we're gonna need a decent amount of these. How many exactly? For the codex, no, not the codex, the DNA sample. Earth. Oh boy. Generic, there we go. 15 apiece. We said we needed, what was it, 8 times 15 is 120 automation science packs. Okay, that's not this many. All right, there we go. Perfect amount. And let me go grab more small parts, though I don't want to grab too many because we're just trying to save iron these days. I also need, what else do we need? Some more belts for sure. Just grab a little bit of everything. Oops. Inserters were fine. Belts, we definitely need more. Everything else I think we're okay on. Alright. We gotta have enough titanium by now. Please, 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 please. We need to fix our color. Get that Krydax green going. There we go, that's perfect. Just a hint of red is about right. There we go. Alright, titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Wait, what? I'm losing my mind. I swear it was just like 40, 39. It said 39 on all of them. And now we're down to 26? What? Am I... What just happened? Huh. Maybe these finished a recipe between those two droppings of titanium, and then there was less left for everything else. Must have been something like that. Oh, titanium is way slower than I thought it would be. That has been such a bottleneck. I mean, it's funny in pYanodon's, you know, if you automate something, you don't come back to it for like 5 hours and you're like, oh, I've got a full chest of titanium. But when you're actually waiting for something, it feels like it's the slowest thing ever. All right, there we go. We got our data array. Perfect. And we can start on that. I also need 30 bio containers. So I wanna chill here until we have enough for the 30 bio containers, I think. So maybe that's a bad idea. How many do we only need 14 more, which is only 28 plates, which is 280 ore, which is only a couple minutes. Okay, we can chill here that long. We can chillax that long. Yes, exactly. Non-zero is the name of the game with pYanodon's. Non-zero automation. If you can automate even 5 per minute, you know, it sounds terrible, but 5 per minute will get you what you need, you know, because you're not going to come back to it for 20 hours. And then by that time, you have a lot. It is interesting, though. One fun thing about Pi is you'll automate something to like a really tiny amount, and it'll be enough for a really long time. And then it builds up a big stockpile, you know, and backs up over that time. And then at some point in the future, you start using gobs of that thing, you know, and you haven't ever remade whatever was making item A. And then all of a sudden item A is like gone. And you're like, oh my gosh, I need so much of this. And, you know, you were only making 0.1 of it per second before, and now you need like 8 per second. But you don't notice you're like that, you know, you're in that big of, you don't notice you're in that big of a deficit for a while because of the stockpile that was built up, which is the danger of buffers. Buffers are an interesting topic to talk about with Pi. In some ways buffers are evil, in other ways buffers are actually really good because it allows you like a grace period where you can support full production of something even though your inputs don't support it. And that can actually be really helpful as long as you're kind of managing the knowledge that you're in that grace period, you know, because otherwise things can cascade into failures constantly. But at the same time, that grace period can allow you to produce enough of the new thing to get a boost into a next tech tier. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing right now, even. I guess it's not really related to buffers, but the idea of like pushing further sooner so that you can make something better sooner, so that you can kind of in some ways skip certain steps. That's totally a thing. So buffers aren't pure evil, though I do think on average they probably, it's better to reduce buffers than have them for things that are not used for buildings. Things that are used for buildings, you definitely want to buffer just because sometimes you need 20 route paddocks all of a sudden. And so if you're not buffering those materials, that can be a problem. So for that reason alone, you do kind of want a buffer of a lot of items, but there's a lot of, you know, intermediates that are only used in it as an ingredient to another thing. And in that case, those things often don't. It's better to not have buffers. But yeah, you know, there's a very big difference in playstyles between people. Some people are far more reactionary, where it's like, I want to add a new build that for sure consumes more than my base can provide. And then they run into one problem after another where it's like, oh, I don't have enough iron. Okay, I got to work on my iron. Oh, I don't have enough this. I got to work on that. And they just work on the chain all the way down. And then other people are like, I want to make sure I actually have my build planned out. And so I have enough iron, I have enough copper before I build this next thing. It's interesting because neither one is wrong. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I think I do a little bit of both. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. All right, we'll come back for more titanium later. Yeah, and Height G, there are lots of times in pYanodon's also where you buffer something because you can't use it yet, and you don't really want to waste all of it and just burn it in burners or whatever, so you just put it in a big pile. I mean, that's what Ash Mountain is, right? Like, we've got multiple ash dumps that will run out. At some point, we're going to start using tons of ash, and we're going to stop using all the burners. And at that point, we now are making very little and we're using more, and Ash Mountain will run out. But it's nice to have, you know, 10, 20 hours of free ash before we have to worry about making ash. So I do think building up Ash Mountain is worth it. All right, what are we doing? We're working on the data array. Where are you at? And this bad boy will make us the generic Earth DNA samples. And we also need the rest of the bio containers in there and a bunch more flora. And then we need to take the bio samples and put them in here with the science and with randomly iron chests, because it's like a DNA chest. I don't know. All right. We probably almost have enough flora at this point. Yeah, and Glam, I do like to set up alarms. We are a long way from alarms, unfortunately. They don't show up until pyscience 1, and then we also need to have batteries to make them, I think. No, I guess the speakers we don't need batteries for. Okay, so that's a little better. We won't see combinators for a while, though, because batteries are difficult to make. Here, let me show you guys what batteries need. And it doesn't look that bad. You know, it's like, oh, that's only 7 items, but cyanic acid is a giant pain in the butt because you need AUGs for that. The urea from AUGs, and melamine is a pain in the butt, and lead antimony alloy means you need antimony, which is a whole thing we don't have yet. So it's a pain in the butt. It is a butt pain. All right. I don't know why I put that there. That's not where that goes. Visually, for whatever reason, I guess because this part sticks out a little bit. No. Okay, that should work. That should work. We'll see if we have enough. Laura, we probably are close. I don't think I quite have enough. It's 15, so that's 750. Yeah, we need a few hundred more. Alright. I mean, there's not always a bottleneck. Pint G, it is possible. I don't know of anyone that plays this way. So, yes, in practice, I agree with you. But in theory, you could play where you always, you know, like everything you build is planned out in Hellmod, and you always make sure to work your way from the bottom up. So it's like, okay, I make sure I have the wood that I need before I start building things that need wood. I make sure I have the iron that I need before I start building things that make iron, and you work your way from the ground up so that you actually never run out of anything. It is possible to play with no bottlenecks. It would be really, I don't think I would have fun doing it. And I don't think most people play that way, but it is possible. Okay, what am I doing now? We've got the DNA samples. Now we need nothing. That's it. We just need the creature chamber. And then we'll be good to go. Okay. So let's go get more Duralumin. We might actually have enough Duralumin. No, we don't. We need 130. Jeez. Can the construction bots be added later in the game? Oh, you mean the little drones, the little, what are they called? Informatron looking things. I'm guessing if you add the mod after you start, you might need to cheat the actual bots in, because I'm guessing it's a startup thing that it does. Do I want more petri dishes? I probably should get more petri dishes going. They're kind of free to work on right now. I don't need plastic. I need Duralumin. It's down here. Perfect. All right, and then we'll go hop in the car. Try not to hit power poles. You know what I want is underground power poles. You know how advanced fluid handling has these, you know, underground things? It'd be nice if there were power poles that worked that way so you could drive through them. So that when you have power connected across large areas, it doesn't make a wall that you run into with cars. All right. Boom. What am I missing? Oh, I need more circuits. Okay. That's doable. I'll wait till these are done with this recipe. Yeah, Glam, that is exactly how it works. You think, oh, I only need this one more thing before I can automate that item, and then it just ends up being the next 5 hours of gameplay. Let's see. My camera is a little too bright. I absolutely hate this camera, by the way. I need a new solution. The problem is this is one of the best solutions according to most. I have a Logitech C920, and it's apparently one of the best solutions that isn't something really complicated, where you have like an actual camera mount and that sort of thing. If anybody knows a lot about techie stuff and webcams, I would love a webcam that does plug in via USB, but is a bit higher tech and higher quality. Because this thing is such a pain in the butt, and the settings between OBS and the webcam fight with each other. And so, like, I'll start up my computer and the settings will be wrong. It's just the biggest pain in the butt. And, like, auto exposure, it, like, often is brighter than I want it to be, but there's no settings to lower. It's an absolute nightmare. I'm trying to get it right now. I guess that's about where I want it. But then it changes. I don't even know. All right. Moving on. So, we're also an hour into this episode, but I feel like we've gotten good work done. So I need more radar coverage. Let's put this guy over here. Oh, that's not attached. All right, so then creature chamber. Oh, I needed circuits. That's why I ran over here. Also, hello, Dave Cobra. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, and the thing is that, like, I don't need it to be. I mean, I'd like it to be a little higher resolution than what I have now. I don't need it to be anything crazy, though. Alright, I need steel and glass. Also, one thing I like about pYanodon's that is decidedly different than most mod packs is the cost for buildings is actually significant. In most Factorio circumstances, you can basically ignore the cost of your infrastructure and just siphon it off of whatever it is you're already doing, and it won't be a big enough hit that you'll care. You know, like the amount of... Basically what I'm saying is, like, the amount of steel you need to automate to get your science packs going fast enough is going to be so much steel that if you take the steel you need for buildings away from that, it's rarely going to matter. You know, that sort of thing. And with quality, you know, if you're doing quality gambling, that's now a bit of an exception to that. But in general, that's been true of Factorio and mods for Factorio. And I like Pi because it's like, oh no, these buildings are expensive. You need, like... And it doesn't even look that bad when you look at it, but then you realize it needs a gene lab. And then you realize a gene lab needs 2 tanks and a biofactory. And then a biofactory needs 5 steam engines. And so you start adding all those together. And it actually looks like it does add those together properly in this one. And you can see we need 60 circuits, 70 steel, you know, over 100 of multiple plates. It's like, that's not cheap. Now, you do not need many of them, which is nice. What am I looking for? Steel. Sorry, I just got something in my eye, I think. Ow. Heck, do I have an eyelash in my eye? Maybe? We may need to take a medical break. Yeah, give me one moment. I will be right back.